affected by the collapse of FTX. This was driven by a few main factors. First of all, FTX, Alameda, and SBF were big supporters of the Solana ecosystem, holding over $1 billion worth of the Solana Sol token. The market anticipated potential Sol selling pressure, which resulted in the price of the coin dropping by over 40% in one single day. Secondly, wrapped assets on Solana, such as Bitcoin and Ether, were backed by Alameda and instantly lost their value, causing havoc in the lending markets. BlockFi was another company heavily affected by the FTX collapse. In July 2022, BlockFi was bailed out by FTX by offering a $400 million credit facility. After the FTX collapse, the BlockFi team issued a statement that they paused withdrawals. We can also most likely expect to see more affected companies being revealed in the near future. Another big impact of the FTX collapse is the loss of trust in the crypto industry, already shaken by Terra and 3 Arrows Capital. Each time a big event like this happens, it unfortunately draws more and more people away from crypto and creates more crypto skeptics. There is also a worry about potential regulatory implications of the FTX collapse. The regulators might see this event as a good reason to heavily regulate the whole space, which might be detrimental to further adoption. As a result of Alameda going under, the crypto markets are also experiencing a period of low liquidity. Alameda was one of the biggest market makers in both CeFi and DeFi, but outside of that, we can now see other market makers reducing their market exposure by scaling back on their market-making activities. This hopefully should be only for a short period of time until all the information regarding the FTX collapse and its knock-on effects become clear. The collapse of one of the biggest exchanges will also lead to further centralization of power in the exchange space. The customer's choice will be limited to a few major players. To create more transparency, a lot of exchanges decided to start creating a proof of reserves of their assets. This can help with seeing obvious misconduct, but it's not a golden bullet. Unfortunately, the proof of reserves doesn't show all the outstanding liabilities, so it cannot be used to create a full picture of the exchange solvency. The collapse of FTX further damages the already shaken reputation of the crypto industry. At this point, it's worth answering the question, what is the path forward for crypto? One thing is certain, we surely cannot just assume the lack of other new bad players within the ecosystem. Some of them might be building their legitimacy for years before taking advantage of their position. It looks like there are two main paths forward. One focuses on more regulation, more centralization, and more oversight, basically recreating power structures known from traditional finance. This path also strengthens arbitrary access to financial services based on your country of origin and financial history. The other path is a bit more interesting and focuses on on-chain transparency, self-custody, fair access, and is self-regulated by protocols whose mechanics can be fully understood from the code that can be audited by anyone. This is DeFi. There is also a possibility these two paths will exist in parallel. Centralized entities that take custody over customers' funds will be heavily regulated, while DeFi, thanks to its transparent and self-custody nature, will remain free and open to anyone. One thing is clear, DeFi needs to find ways to make it easy for new users to onboard. This includes improving user experience of non-custodial wallets and increasing the security of interacting with DeFi protocols. It's also worth emphasizing that during the collapse of FTX, Ethereum, DeFi, and even the vast majority of other chains worked exactly as expected. Uniswap, the biggest decentralized exchange in DeFi, has been working flawlessly for over 4 years, processing on average more than $1 billion in daily trading volume. To summarize this video, it's important to remember that the crypto industry started with Bitcoin, and it was created with the importance of self-custody and transparency in mind. I want to highlight that a lot of people lost their life savings in the FTX collapse. I wish them all the best when it comes to recovering the funds during the bankruptcy process. Going forward, we should be skeptical of new leaders who quickly come to power and may even quicker live in disgrace. I would also love to see more people being onboarded to DeFi, taking the custody of their own assets into their own hands. This comes with its own challenges, but I believe they can be solved.